Good morning. I hereby call to order the Board of Directors' regularly scheduled meetings of the New Jersey Transit Corporation, New Jersey Transit Rail Operations, Inc., New Jersey Transit Bus Operations, Inc., New Jersey Transit Mercer, Inc., and New Jersey Transit Morris, Inc.
At this time, Josephine Evans will deliver the public safety announcement.
Good morning. At New Jersey Transit, your safety is our highest priority. Please listen to these safety instructions in case of an emergency. The primary exit for this location is the stairwell located in the lobby adjacent to the elevators. There's a second staircase through the door behind the commissioners. New Jersey Transit Police will call for additional assistance, administer CPR, and use a defibrillator located near the elevator if necessary. Fire extinguishers are located in the front and back of this room, and please be guided by the directions of the New Jersey Transit Police and staff. Thank you and have a nice day.
Thank you.
Thank you. Could we please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty and justice for all. Joyce, could you take roll call, please?
Yes. Good morning, Chair Gutierrez, Caccetti, and board members. For the record, Board Member Greaves will be participating by telephone. I will now take roll call. Chair Gutierrez, Caccetti.
Here.
Board Member Wilton. Board Member Rajmani. Board Member Castillo. Board Member Greaves.
Here.
Thank you. Next is the open public meetings notice. Adequate notice of today's regularly scheduled meetings of the Board of Directors of the New Jersey Transit Corporation, New Jersey Transit Rail Operations, New Jersey Transit Bus Operations, New Jersey Transit Mercer, and New Jersey Transit Morris has been provided in accordance with the Open Public Meetings Act and Public Law 2018, Chapter 162. The meetings will occur concurrently. Notices were filed on June 6, 2019 with the Secretary of State. These notices were sent to newspapers of general distribution, posted in the main entrance of New Jersey Transit headquarters, published on the corporation's website, and sent each individual, agency, and organization that requested such notice. The meetings are viewable on the corporation's website in real time and will be video recorded, archived, and made available to the public. Minutes will also be archived and published on the website.
May I have a motion to enter into executive session to discuss personnel matters, contract negotiations, the status of pending and anticipated litigation, and matters falling within the attorney-client privilege, including but not limited to the corporate insurance program annual renewal. May I have a motion to enter into executive session? Second? Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. We shall return shortly. Good morning. I hereby reconvene the open session of the board meetings. Joyce, if you would please take roll call again.
Roll call, Chair Gutierrez Scacchetti.
Here.
Board Member Wilton.
Here.
Board Member Ajmani.
Here.
Board Member Castillo.
Here.
Board Member Greaves.
Here.
Thank you.
May I have a motion and a second to approve the minutes of the May 8th, 2019 board meeting? A second, please? Any discussion? No discussion? All in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. Kevin, will you present the Executive Director's monthly report?
Certainly will. I see we have a future employee over here on the side. Good morning, Chair, members of the board. It has certainly been another very busy month. I'd like to stress a couple of major events of the last month. First, to begin with, Amtrak Penn Station, New York track work. Hopefully, I think everyone in this room should be well aware of it by now. If not, Anthony is going to be looking for a new job on the comms. But we have been extremely busy over the past several weeks informing our customers of the Amtrak track work at Penn Station, New York, and the upcoming service adjustments, which begin this coming Monday. In addition to myself and members of the senior staff, we've been out riding some of the affected trains to talk to customers. And in particular, our customer advocate, Stu Mader, has ridden all the trains which will be impacted, informing customers of their options and listening to their feedback. Our customers have really appreciated this personal face-to-face interaction. Continuing along those lines, we developed customer service ambassadors to key stations leading up to the service adjustments, and they will continue to be out assisting customers throughout the duration of the track work. In addition, we've held several information sessions, including at Hoboken Terminal and Penn Station, New York, as well as a session in Montclair hosted by Congresswoman Mikey Sherrill, and another one last week in Morristown. As a reminder to our customers, all the information regarding the service adjustments is available on our website, njtransit.com/inform. If you haven't done so already, we encourage you to visit the site and ask us any questions you may have either through customer service or social media so that come Monday, you can continue to have a seamless travel experience. Another update I'd like to report on is the BTS concerts on May 18th and 19th. We safely and effectively operated service to and from MetLife Stadium for the concerts featuring BTS, Korean pop superstars. Our rail and bus operations safely transported a significant number of concert goers each night. For example, following the end of Saturday night concert, our rail service transported more than 12,000 customers from the Meadowlands Station to Secaucus Junction, starting at approximately 10:30 p.m., moving more than 11,000 customers in the first 90 minutes. In addition to bus service operating before and after concerts, we added customer service ambassadors at the Meadowlands Station to further assist customers arriving and departing the stadium. I want to thank our rail and bus operations staff, as well as communications, customer service, safety, and police personnel for all their hard work, planning, and coordination to make this such a successful event. As we're now into June, you'll note that June is National Safety Month. It's a time when we rededicate ourselves to the safety principles that are at the forefront of everything we do at New Jersey Transit. During the course of this month, our Office of System Safety personnel are out reminding customers and employees of the critical aspects of safety. Our primary objective is to provide safe transportation and a safe work environment for all our customers and employees. Safety is one of our core values and one that we'll never compromise on. I ask customers that if they see our safety professionals at one of our facilities, they stop by and read the materials. It never hurts to refresh yourself on the best way to avoid distractions like cell phones and headphones and how to stay aware of your surroundings. We all need to work together to make our work environments and transit system as safe as possible. In that connection of safety, I'd like to give an update on our River Line vehicle inspections. Never more prominent to our commitment of safety to our customers' employees than what we demonstrated last week. During regular inspections, we identified some small hairline defects in 6 wheels on River Line vehicles. These defects appeared to be isolated to a single batch of 75 wheels from the original manufacturer. However, out of abundance of caution, we made the decision to suspend all service on the River Line on Friday, while we comprehensively inspected every wheel on every vehicle. The rigorous testing began Thursday night, and as cars passed inspection, we were able to operate limited light rail service on Friday, supplemented with substitute bus service. As more cars were introduced back into service, After successfully passing the safety inspections, we were able to operate regular weekend service beginning Saturday morning, and we resumed regular weekday service on Monday morning. This is exactly why we have such stringent safety policies and procedures in place to identify issues like this before they have an impact on public safety. I want to acknowledge the great work by New Jersey Transit Riverline employees and our partners at Bombardier Transportation, who operate and maintain the Riverline service for us under contract, for not only astutely identifying the issue, but for the around-the-clock work since Thursday night to have regular service restored by Saturday morning. While I understand the decision to suspend service was not a popular one, and I recognize the impact it had on our Riverline customers, it was the only responsible decision under the circumstances. I'd also now like to update on our executive reorganization. As you recall, over the past 15 months, we've been making great strides here to get New Jersey Transit back on the right course, from filling key frontline positions to streamlining our procurement process. To further build on that progress, we've been continuing to implement recommendations from the North Highland Assessment Report that was released this past October. One of the primary recommendations they made was to simplify the executive organizational structure to reduce complexity, streamline decision-making, and establish best practices for corporate governance. To achieve this objective, we've implemented 2 of North Highland's specific recommendations effective May 20th, 2019. We're introducing a new delegate C-suite model that looks more like the executive organization structure of a corporation than a state agency. And I've streamlined the structure by reducing the overall number of direct reports. This relieves some of the internal administrative burden at my level and more functionally aligns the executive structure with our strategic goals. It also allows for greater focus on developing corporate policies and management strategies to move the agency forward and improve the customer experience. In support of this new corporate-like organization structure, we've replaced my title as executive director with president and CEO. Direct reports to the president and CEO will now hold the title of senior vice president in place of assistant executive director title. Good organizational design is critical to improving accountability and decision-making because decisions can be made quicker at the right level. Further, we now have the right executive organizational structure, and more importantly, the right people in place within that structure to better position us for success as we continue to manage the challenges facing our organization going forward. In addition to those changes, I'm pleased to announce 3 new members of our leadership team. Matt Riddell joins New Jersey Transit as Vice President, Assistant General Manager of Rail Operations. Matt has more than 25 years of cross-departmental planning, management, and leadership experience in government and the rail industry. Most recently, Matthew served as Senior Manager Locomotive for Union Pacific Railroad, where he directed operations at UP's sole locomotive overhaul and refurbishment facility with 500 mechanical employees and responsibility for 1,000 locomotives. He is also a veteran of the United States Army, which I had to accept as a Navy man, but it's all right. Sorry, Matt. And I thank him for his service and welcome aboard. We are also welcoming 2 new senior leaders in our information technology group. Faisal Jamil, who joins us as Chief Technical Officer with more than 20 years of IT experience, most recently as a digital transformation lead at Sanofi, one of the largest pharmaceutical companies in Europe. He managed employees in multiple locations around the world and has launched several transformative initiatives in computer technology. Also, Bilal Khan has joined New Jersey Transit as Chief Technology Officer for Infrastructure and Operations with over 17 years of IT experience. Most recently, as a technology executive at SHI International, where he worked with Fortune 500 companies advising the area of digital workspace, cloud computing, and cybersecurity. I look forward to leveraging their wealth of experience as we continue to harness the power of technology and position our agency for the future. It is, as you've heard me say often, it is an exciting time to be part of New Jersey Transit as we continue to recruit top talent and fuse new ideas and strategies. Speaking of IT, we've long been overdue for an update on New Jersey Transit's website. It's been well over a decade since the website had a refresh, and we're pleased to introduce a brand new version of the homepage of our website. If you turn your attention to the monitors, you'll see a snapshot of the current website homepage, compressed and cluttered with a lot of competing information. The new homepage features a fresh layout, streamlined navigation, and easier access to essential information. The new homepage also features a responsive design for a seamless experience across all devices, an increase in text size and contrast through the new design for easier readability. The new About menu provides A to Z access to information about New Jersey Transit, and the new footer serves as a comprehensive directory. At the bottom bottom of every page, ensuring that what customers need is just one tap or click away. The 6 cards you see replace the marquee on the current homepage, rotating to put important information in front of customers on the homepage, like the service adjustments for the Amtrak work at Penn Station, New York. The new homepage will be live later today, and there's a card on the homepage dedicated for customers to use to provide feedback on the homepage update. Please check out the new homepage and tell us what you think, and stay tuned as we continue to roll out updates on subsequent web pages. The customer experience begins long before one gets on a bus, train, light rail, or paratransit vehicle. Our website is your key to transit, and the new NewJerseyTransit.com is being built to help you get wherever you need to go as easily as possible. The homepage redesign is just the latest step of New Jersey Transit's digital advancement, alongside customized push notifications and integration with Apple Pay and Google Pay in the New Jersey Transit app. The pilot underway for new onboard fare validators on 6 bus routes on the Morris Garage. The recent launch of Easy Wallet to allow for cashless payments for Access Link customers, and the handheld scanner pilot for streamlined fare collection and shared real-time service information with crew members aboard NJ Transit trains. Lastly, I'd like to talk, we have a few items for expression of appreciation. We are always looking for opportunities to recognize employees, particularly those celebrating significant career milestones. Today, that distinction belongs to Ms. Daisy Johnson, whose distinguished career here spans 50 years, dating back to our predecessor organization. Daisy, if you join me up front. Is that on? Yeah, great. Daisy, let me, expression of appreciation to Daisy M. Johnson. Whereas Daisy M. Johnson graduated from Ebenezer High School in Dalzell, South Carolina in May 1969, and immediately traveled north to begin her career with Public Service Coordinated Transportation Company, predecessor of NJ Transit, in June 1969. And whereas from 1969 to 1976, Daisy M. Johnson, also known as Miss Daisy, held various clerk positions in the ticket and transfer department, as well as several years as payroll clerk. And whereas from 1977 to 1991, as a single mother raising 2 sons, Dr. John W. Johnson and Derek Marcel Johnson, and serving and receiving such honors as a member of the Minorities with Disabilities Committee, Ms. Daisy held positions of increased responsibility at NJ Transit, group lead in the charter department, senior clerk in the Revenue Services and Accounts Payable Department, and is currently a principal bookkeeper in the General Ledger Accounting Department, and demonstrated the highest degree of skill, ability, and professionalism in every position. And whereas Ms. Daisy distinguished career at New Jersey Transit spans 50 years to date, and whereas Ms. Daisy is beloved by her coworkers and has earned the respect of her supervisors and colleagues for her strong work ethic and dedication, and whereas Ms. Daisy unwavering dedication to the mission and purpose of NJ Transit and her commitment to public service had been the foundation for the standards and excellence and achievement. Now, therefore, be resolved that the Board of Directors, Executive Director, and the employees of New Jersey Transit express deep appreciation to Ms. Daisy for outstanding achievement and personal dedication to New Jersey Transit, and wish her continued success in the future.
Miss Daisy, supervisors, please join the front. Supervisors, please join.
You don't look like you're 50. And speaking of recognition, Sadly, this is Flora Castillo's last board meeting with us. We have a resolution to honor the tremendous work she has done for the people of New Jersey. And I'll turn the floor over to the commissioner who has some remarks for Flora and who will share the resolution.
Thank you very
Diane?
much, Kevin. It's an interesting time in transportation. Many people look and they say, well, there hasn't been a woman commissioner of DOT in almost 35 years, or is 35 years. And that's phenomenal. But the woman who sits to my left, Flora Castillo, broke that mold in 1999 when she joined the board of the New Jersey Transit Corporation as not only the youngest female and Latina, but first Latina to be sitting on the board of New Jersey Transit. And so, absolutely. Flora has been a staunch advocate for public transportation, whether she was sitting on the board or not. Flora continues to be a wonderful representative. She's always got a smile on her face. She always greets people warmly, and it's important in our business as public sector employees and representatives of the government to ensure that we understand our customers' needs. And Flora, as an advocate, has always been that person. She is, again, she's professional. She's taken transportation to new levels for us in New Jersey as a member of WTS and being recognized for her leadership in transportation. And so it is a sad day for New Jersey Transit that you will not be sitting on the board with us. But we also understand that people start new careers and do new things and they move on. It is that way in all of life, right? And if it wasn't, then wouldn't life be boring? But certainly from me personally, as well as chair of this board, Flora, I wish you great success in all that you do. I know that it will not be the last time you and I are together because we run in the same transportation circles, advocating for transportation, all transportation in New Jersey, the importance of this state as not only a corridor state, but certainly the pathway to great financial and governmental success between New York and Washington. And so I am grateful for your service. I know that the governor is, and I can imagine many past governors. But we wish you well as you carry on your transportation career in new venues. So I'm going to take a moment. We have a resolution that I'd like to read. I would tell Flora at the tender age of 60, they need to make the print bigger, Kevin. So we're going to come around front in a minute for pictures, so don't worry. So the resolution reads, whereas Flora M. Castillo has been a member of the New Jersey Transit Corporation's Board of Directors since April 1999, and whereas during her tenure, Flora M. Castillo has served as chair of the Administration Committee and chair of the Operations and Customer Service Committee, and whereas Flora M. Castillo has been proactive to the transportation needs of the residents of the state, particularly recognizing the needs of riders with disabilities and those in minority communities. And whereas Flora M. Castillo's marketing and community relations experience has been an invaluable asset to New Jersey Transit, and she has initiated and been a champion of many of the agency's customer outreach efforts. And whereas a noted business professional, Flora M. Castillo's vision and creativity led her to be the founding member of the New Jersey chapter of the Conference of Minority Transportation Officials. And whereas Flora M. Castillo became the 2012-2013 chair of the American Public Transportation Association, an international association of public and private sector organizations engaged in the area of bus, paratransit, light rail, commuter rail, subways, and intercity and high-speed passenger rail. And whereas due to her professionalism and dedication, Flora M. Castillo has been a strong advocate of public transportation for the state of New Jersey. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Board of Directors, the Executive Director, and the employees of New Jersey Transit extend deep appreciation to Flora M. Castillo for her dedicated service, and wish her continued success and happiness in her future endeavors. Signed by the board, and again, with our great thanks to Flora for all of her service to New Jersey Transit.
getting us reengaged in that.
I'm going to give Flora an opportunity to say a few words, so you can, from here, we're going to give you the floor. Or from your seat, whatever you're more
Sure.
comfortable doing.
Thank you, Brian. So, all good things must come to an end. But I have to say, Commissioner, thank you. All of my 20 years here at New Jersey Transit, I've had the great opportunity of working with many great executive directors, both male and female. But this was my first opportunity to work with a female chair. And so I cherish the opportunity to be partners, to collaborate in moving the agenda of our agency forward. I thank all of our customers for indulging us over the years. We've had really great times and we had really bad times. But, at the end of the day, I want you to know that you have a terrific team of employees here that come in every day. As I was coming in from my drive, I live in Atlantic County, so I've been making that 120-mile one-way commute to come to the board meetings for the last 20 years. I saw all kinds of people coming in and out of the first floor downstairs, and they were all employees. They all have their badges. They all come here. They've been coming here for years, like you, Daisy. Proud of being part of this great family, proud of the mission that you come here to do every day. And so I want all of our customers to know that you're in great hands because we have a great, talented, dedicated, committed group of individuals. And I'm so glad, Kevin, that you're rebuilding the team. I think it's only but up. The possibilities are endless. And I've had the great privilege of travel all around the country when I was chair of APTA. And I would come across employees whose professional careers were built here. And everywhere I go, the pride, the honor that they have to be affiliated with New Jersey Transit, it beams through our conversations. Every time I would mention New Jersey Transit, their eyes would light up. And so I am so proud of having had the opportunity to serve 8 Democratic and Republican governors throughout the year. I don't know how many EDs and board chairs. My fellow board members, it is an honor to be sitting on that dais. It's a privilege to be behind those doors advocating for the best transit system that New Jersey Transit can provide you. And so I look forward to cheering, celebrating all the great successes that are coming your way. I know that you will exceed our customers' expectations. So with that, I thank you for this honor.
Thank you, Flora. And now on with our regularly scheduled program, as I like to say. Joyce, will you call those individuals who have signed to speak on our agenda items today?
Yes, we have 15 speakers. Speakers, in order to give everyone an opportunity to be heard, comments will be limited to 5 minutes. If there are several people speaking on the same topic, the first 2 speakers will have 5 minutes to provide comments, and all other speakers will have 2 minutes to provide comments. The first speaker is Dr. John Johnson.
Good morning.
First, giving acknowledgement to the board of New Jersey Transit. Thank you for providing this forum. To my wife, Lauren Best Johnson, to my in-laws, William Earl Best and Shirley Best, to my baby brother, Derek Johnson, our other mother, Miss Gloria Reed, my other brother from another mother, Franklin Turner, and last but not least, our honoree, Daisy Johnson, my mother. 50 years is a long time, and I'm glad I'm able to share this moment, this rare moment with everyone here. My mother, as you've said, has seen a lot of changes over the past 50 years, starting in 1969 up until this moment. And I think it's fitting and poetic that my mom has been in this business of helping people reach their destinations. The word destination is derived from the Latin word destinare, which means to make firm or establish. And in its most basic usage, it is the action of intending someone or something for purpose. And so when we think about the role of transit, it's not just to shuttle people back and forth, but it's to help them reach their destinations, their purposes. And over 50 years, my mom has been doing that for so many people. When my baby brother was born, he was born okay, but then developed disabilities. And she decided to take care of him rather than institutionalize him because he had purpose. And he's sitting here today, almost 39, in good health, and we're blessed for that. It's an interesting thing. You mentioned my mom was a single mother, and oftentimes that is a term that is generally pathologized. But she, I think, is the rule, not necessarily the exception, but the rule that being a single mother doesn't necessarily mean that you cannot achieve great things. And it is safe to say that she raised my younger brother. She raised a doctor and has done many great things. Talking with many of her colleagues here, she's a welcome asset to this company and a warm and caring friend. And I'm just so glad and honored that she's been able to not only serve New Jersey Transit, but you all provided the means for her to do things for us. And so we are grateful for that. I think one last note, and it's worth mentioning this. History tells us, we know through history that transportation is one of those peculiar institutions. My mom's from the South, and safe to say during her youth, transportation was limited based on racial factors. Growing up in Newark and in Irvington, this is a very diverse and rich area. And transportation is an essential commodity to help people reach their destinations and reach their purposes. And so I say that to say that my mom isn't done yet. She's not retiring even after 50 years. She still has a lot more people to help out. She worked for the charter department for a number of years, helping people, for fraternity or sorority had a function to go to, church group, a school had to go somewhere. She would give them transportation to get to their destination. And that was a welcome service to so many people. And I'm just so happy, glad to be able to sit here and bear witness to not necessarily the culmination, but the milestone that she's achieved today. So thank you very much, and thank you for this time.
Thank you. Thank you.
Well, Miss Daisy, you're not only a fine NJT employee, but you apparently are also an awesome mother. So you raised some fine children.
I forgot one thing.
Uh-oh.
I forgot to acknowledge my children.
We got the employee application there.
Yeah. On some day, they may actually be on the board here with you all. So
That's right.
Thank you.
Thank you. The next speaker is Randy Glucksman.
Good morning. I was surprised. I thought that new board members would be here, so my remarks are going to be shortened. I wish Flora the best of luck in the future in her endeavors. To the business point, those who don't, I'm the representative for the Metro North Fayetteville Commuter Council, and I'm also an MTA board member. Last June, a service notice was issued canceling nearly 24 trains system-wide, including 2 of our Metro North Express trains that operate on the Pascagoula Valley line. Metro North pays you to run these trains. At the same time, a Friday-only train disappears from the schedule, a train used by Sabbath observers and those who need to be home before sundown and others taking advantage of the early getaway of a Friday. The service notice reported this was being done to install PTC and the trains would be restored in the first quarter of 2018. Well, we're well into the second quarter and there's still no firm date firm date on when these trains will be restored, and my constituents ask me all the time. So I'd like to get an answer. When are we getting back our Friday and our express trains? Aside from looking forward to seeing a new website, right now, aside from the press release announcing the appointment of Stuart Mader as Chief Customer Advocate and Customer Experience Officer, I have not been able to find anything to inform customers how they may contact him if they experience any problems. Previous executive directors held quarterly meetings with myself and other rail volunteer advocates where we discussed the issues and offered solutions. Despite numerous email requests, there has been no such meeting since December of 2017. I wanted to talk about the severe weather schedules, but I guess maybe you can have an offline conversation about this. They're unacceptable the way they were prepared. The advocates didn't like them when they first came out, so maybe we can pursue this offline. So anyway, I'm going to let that go for now. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you. The next speaker is Oren Getz.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm from Rockland County, and I do agree with Randy Glucksman. We need to get a status on when our express trains are going to be restored, the weekday express train on the Pascack Valley line. It was canceled, and we really have had no information on when this is going to happen. So please get us a status on when we're going to get that express train back. Also, we're looking to see if New Jersey Transit can work out a deal with the MTA to transfer the Suffern station to the MTA. The station needs to be made handicapped accessible, and it's a liability for New Jersey Transit to have the stations because it's in New York State, and we would like to see if a deal could be worked out that this station could be transferred to the MTA. Other stations in New York State are Pearl River and Nanuet, so we'd like to see what could be done with the Suffern station. Also, I'd like to look into the possibility of Metro North crews possibly operating the trains on the Port Jervis line. It is a line that is most of it is owned by Metro North. So it would be a very good idea for to see if we can do that. There is a shortage of crews, and this could be a way of resolving some of the problems. Metro North has crews that could operate these trains, and this is a definite possibility. Also, on May 13th, we had a meeting with some technical people from Metro North and from New Jersey Transit, and they talked about redoing railroad crossings in Rockland County. We don't know which crossings are going to be involved other than the one at New Clarkstown Road, and we would like to know the full implementation of this plan to redo these crossings, and when we're going to have midday busing and how long that's going to stand. It's important not to have this sprung on us at the last moment. So please see what you can do to get that information out to us and our local officials. That's very important. And one other thing, the Long Island Railroad is kind of short on locomotive hauled cars. New Jersey Transit may have some Comet 3 cars that they're no longer using. We'd like to see if something can be done to possibly use those cars for the Long Island Railroad. You're not going to use them anymore, and it would be a good idea to have somebody look into the possibility of seeing if any of those cars can be fixed up and used by the Long Island Railroad. Thank you very much.
Thank you. The next speaker is Joseph DiTurio.
It's Joe DiOrio.
Sorry.
It looks like a
Apologize.
T, but it's, thanks. I come before you today as councilman of Roselle Park. I also had my colleague, Councilman William Fahori, here to speak, who was scheduled to speak, but unfortunately he had to leave to go to work, so he will not be speaking. I come before the board out of frustration shared with our governing body and the residents of Roselle Park regarding the approved and funded reconstruction of the Roselle Park train station. In October 26th of 2016, the New Jersey Transit Board, this board, authorized the renovations of the Roselle Park train station, keeping in mind that it had taken years to get to this point, from identifying issues at the train station to funding to bidding to final authorization by the board. We have been in continuous contact with New Jersey Transit representatives over the last several years, but the responses have been minimal to seriously lacking. Finally, in April of this year, after several emails reaching out to the executive director, we finally received a response from the senior director of legislative relations, only in some respects to be further frustrated. I'd like to read some of the excerpts of that email to provide you some background. This project was bid out along with improvements to the Cranford Station. Repair work at the Cranford Station started in April of 2017 and was completed in the summer of 2018. Initially, the Rosa Park project had been delayed because we needed to get an agreement with Conrail to do the work, and that is why it did not start the repair work at your station. After listening to our customers and legislators, a decision was made to cancel the current project and redesign the work to address the accessibility issue, an elevator, which was not part of the original contract. During the site investigations for the redesign, additional concrete deterioration was discovered on the underside of the platform. This has advanced significantly since the completion of the project design documents. The deterioration was beyond the scope of the original contract, and therefore the redesign with the vertical access also needed to be included. Keeping in mind, the reverse actually occurred. It was discovered that there were issues along the platform that needed to be addressed. It just so happened that we had requested an elevator, which then became part of the proposed new project. The project will be an in-house design and is scheduled to begin in November 2019 when we have a project manager. The design will be completed in the summer of 2020, and the project should be out to bid in the fall of 2020. The construction cost will be about $6 million, and the duration of the work at the train station will be about 2 years. Vertical transportation will be included in the redesign effort, the elevator. This is in the early stages of the redesign, so input from the town is more than welcome. I can certainly set up a meeting to discuss the project. It's been a very busy time for us with the budget, but that should conclude next month when we have to present testimony. Now, we were under the understanding that May was the busy month. It's now June. I reached out to the legislative director. His response was, "I'll get back to you." Once again, frustrated. By looking at the timeline set by New Jersey Transit, it would appear that the project will be completed in 2024, literally 10 years since we started our quest to get the train station renovated. Now, we've been doing everything possible to be good neighbors and everything possible to improve our train station and our community. We've applied for a transit village designation. We've also adopted complete streets programs and policies. We've received Sustainable Jersey designation, and we've been very strong advocates for the one-seat ride. Our train station is falling apart. When compared to other train stations along the Raritan Valley line, ours looks derelict. Our parking lot looks like the surface of the moon. It's hampering our redevelopment efforts and the ability to increase market values. We asked New Jersey Transit to provide us the assistance that I believe we deserve. I would not be here if I had the ability to get responses back from New Jersey Transit. This is my next recourse, and I'm looking for the board's support. First, we ask the board to place this project as a priority in your capital budget plan. This has been a long delayed project, and we need the attention. Secondly, as requested previously, we're looking for New Jersey Transit representatives to attend the council meeting. And we ask that the board provide that assistance and present themselves at a council meeting to provide us information that we are seriously lacking. We're also looking to offer redesign elements, and we need a meeting with representatives to make that happen. And lastly, Roseville Park has been good partners with NJT, but the response has been negligible, making us and our commuters feeling abandoned. We look forward to the board's support. We look forward to, as the executive director mentioned in his outreach in other communities, to talk to us, Roseville Park, and provide us some action. Thank you.
The next speaker is David Anderson.
Good morning, everyone. I'd like to start by wishing Flora and Daisy the best in their future endeavors. And I'm speaking on for the Lackawanna Coalition. I'm a technical director, and we're concerning energy policy. We are concerned about the plans for the New Jersey Transit gas-fired power plant in Kearney. Of course, we agree that trains need reliable power, but we think that there are better ways to achieve that and also help the surrounding communities. We note that private utilities have much more expertise in generating power. What does this project actually accomplish? The just released Draft Energy Master Plan has the goal of full renewable energy by 2050. Why is a state agency proposing a central gas-powered plant in direct opposition to this administrative goal? What portion of the $410 million Federal Transportation Authority resiliency money is for building the central power plant, and what portion for the microgrid and redundant cables? Does the Transportation Trust Fund have the capacity for the required match of 25% local money, about $137 million? Is the scale of the project appropriate for New Jersey Transit's needs alone, or is it designed to generate excess energy and create an income stream? New Jersey Transit has ongoing financial needs, but creation of NJT Power and Light with our tax dollars is not the solution. NJ Transit was created when public service dropped transportation in favor of utilities. Let's not go back 40 years to combine transit and energy generation. The DEIS indicates that the Northeast Corridor and Morris and Essex lines would use 70 to 75 megawatts of traction and load power, with excess power sold to the PJM grid when economically justified. It quotes a sales figure going from 8% to 19%, or 104 to 140 megawatts between 2020 and 2049, leaving an unexplained difference in the vicinity of 20 to 30 megawatts. If there is no clear use for that power, perhaps building a smaller facility focusing on a solar microgrid alone would save money for both the FTA and the Transportation Trust Fund and still cover New Jersey Transit's needs. The New Jersey Transit grid, as described, has two parts: a 140 megawatt methane powered power plant and a 4 megawatt solar microgrid. Why are these proportions not reversed to be more in line with the Draft Energy Master Plan? Operating costs for the central gas plant are expected to be between $16.6 million and $19.5 million, covered by power purchase agreements. The project includes 32,000 square feet of office space and 30 full-time positions. This is a distraction from New Jersey Transit's mission of providing transportation where we expect NJT management to place its focus. We need NJT to improve rail and bus service and leave power generation to the experienced utility companies. We have been hearing ever since the storm about the Sandy damage to the Hudson tunnels. Instead of the large NJ Transit grid, we suggest using available resiliency funds to use the L-Train Canarsie tunnel system of repair applied to the Hudson tunnels and use the remainder of a third tunnel to apply to a third tunnel, so that we will have will not have to wait 10 years to have at least 2 working tunnels. consistently running trains in and out of New York Penn Station. We recommend using FTA resiliency money to actually protect and increase transportation capacity. Thank you.
Thank you. The next speaker is Bruce Bergen.
Good morning. As I think you're aware, I'm chairman of the Raritan Valley Rail Coalition. Commissioner, board members, Mr. CEO, thank you for allowing us the time to address you this morning. The Raritan Valley Rail Coalition continues to actively support this organization's budget, and we hope that the state legislature and the governor will see fit to increase it in the coming year. We also continue to advocate publicly for funding both at the federal and state level for the Gateway Project, in particular for the Portal Bridge replacement, which, as we understand, is ready to go as soon as that money can be released. These are obviously broad issues that are of import to all of New Jersey and all of transit, but I do want to once again address those issues that are of concern, in particular to the Raritan Valley line. And I've brought these to the board's attention before. One is a focus on trying to increase the number of same platform transfers in Newark for our riders. As I've told you before, we realize the challenges in bringing in one seat ride, but there need to be some interim steps taken to at least help alleviate some of the problems, and same platform transfer would be very helpful. I've asked before if there are statistics kept as to how often that happens in a given week, month, or whatever, and I haven't received a response, but I'm hoping that those statistics can be gathered so at least we can see what progress, if any, is being made in that regard. Also, I've suggested that additional trains running to Hoboken from the Raritan Valley line would be helpful. It would give those riders who are going to certain parts of Manhattan easier transfer across the river. Again, I understand there are technical issues, but certainly those can be worked on, and hopefully some of that those trains can be expanded. And of course, our premier issue, if you will, and that is one seat ride. It's been almost 6 months since the first phase of the positive train control was completed in December. We're told that the summer changes for Amtrak are going to be in place on Monday. Those are two of the issues that were mentioned in delaying the reinstatement of the limited one-seat ride that we have. But in spite of the progress that's been made in those areas, we've still received no information from transit as to why the limited one-seat ride can't be reinstated, or when it can be reinstated, or even what needs to be done to get us from where we are to that being done. So I believe at the very least, our riders, our constituents are entitled to information so that we can at least have some idea where we're headed and how long it's going to take us to get there. And of course, in the long run, we continue to press for expanded one-seat ride. Again, I understand there are operational and monetary issues, but I would suggest once again that those are possible. It's really just a matter of having the board instruct the staff to move ahead with trying to make those plans. And we would ask that be done sooner rather than later. And I would just add my support for Councilman DiOrio concerning his issues in Roselle Park. And I couldn't help but notice that to some degree, they're the same as what I speak to you about on a monthly basis, and that's communication. We may not always like what you tell us, but we would rather hear what the reality is and know what the plans are than have no information at all. Thank you very much.
Thank you. The next speaker is Sally Geller.
Good morning. Sally Gellert, Communications Director for the Lackawanna Coalition. We are glad that the newly released rail timetables include the reduced fares for lines most disrupted by the service reductions this summer. But we're distressed that the new M&E timetable does not show the connecting bus that replaces the last Dover train on weeknights. The bus leaves Dover at 11:30 Monday through Friday nights, makes all stops to Summit, unfortunately excepting Mount Tabor, allowing riders in Morris County to connect with the last eastbound Hoboken train at Summit. The trip planner can find the service, which we note was put in place in response to an inquiry by Lackawanna Coalition's chairperson, David Peter Allen, and we commend New Jersey Transit for acting on the suggestion. However, we're concerned that an unpublicized service will not be used often, if at all. Low ridership would make some riders' commutes harder than necessary this summer, and possibly justify an argument against providing similar service when needed in the future. We encourage New Jersey Transit social media staff to supplement the printed schedule with the missing information. We wonder about the motivation for not announcing the service widely. A well-publicized service is most efficient, assists riders immediately, and is a model for the future. Again, another communications issue. The Lackawanna Coalition passed a resolution last month, submitted today as an exhibit, calling for the separation of two roles that the commissioner now holds. We believe that anyone serving as both Commissioner of Transportation and New Jersey Transit Board Chairperson is forced into an inherent conflict of interest by heading both highway and transit agencies. This is particularly troubling in budget season, as the current commissioner has made it clear that New Jersey Transit and highways in the state compete for scarce funds, and that highways may be more important. New Jersey Transit thus needs an advocate who is not constrained by concern for the needs of roadways and motorists, but can advocate exclusively for rail and bus passengers and the New Jersey Transit Agency. Unfortunately, the Transportation Act of 1979, which established New Jersey Transit 40 years ago, created this issue, which has continued unabated until today. It is time to resolve this now. Of course, this is certainly not directed at Ms. Gutierrez Sacchetti. Personally, it's a badly designed structure. It's not anything individual at all. For years, David Peter Allen and the Lackawanna Coalition have called for better preparedness at both New Jersey Transit and at Amtrak. This past week, en route back to New York City, Mr. Allen got caught up in a situation in which Amtrak's lack of preparedness caused a great deal of inconvenience for hundreds of passengers. He documented that mess in a Railway Age article that I am also submitting as an exhibit. For years, the coalition and other advocates have offered to work with New Jersey Transit Management to improve preparedness. This is not simply a matter of providing electric power through an expensive gas-fired generation plant and small microgrid. Now is the time to take the advocates' offer seriously. A bright spot for New Jersey Transit this week was the quick restoration of the Riverline service after that wheel problem was noted. Congratulations on that. I hope that rather than just changing titles, there are changes in the actual structure. Corporate doesn't mean a lot to me. And best wishes to Ms. Castillo and Ms. Johnson on their landmarks. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we have a group of 6 speakers on behalf of Russell Grady. The first and last speaker will provide comments for 5 minutes. All other speakers will have 2 minutes to provide comments. The first speaker is Errol Kerr.
Good morning. On behalf of the Mr. G's team, we just want to say congratulations to Ms. Flora Castillo, and we wish you the best on your future endeavors. We know that you'll do well wherever you go. Let's just get on to just a little bit of why we are here. I think there's no question about why we are here. We have been here for the past couple of years, and talking to members of our group, we are still perplexed as to why there has not been a resolution to our situation as yet. We are here fighting and arguing and scrapping for something which is as precious to any one of us and it's justice. I mean, justice is important as the air that we all breathe. Many people died for justice. Many people gave up their life to be able to live in a place where you can invest freely and reap the rewards of your hard work. Mr. Grady fought for this country, fought for liberty, to be able to come and be a part of the structure of this society. New Jersey Transit gave him an opportunity to establish a business in their facilities. However, it seems like for whatever reason, by talking to some of our folks, we are coming to believe that Mr. Grady was not part of a collateral fallout, but he was a target of a strike by New Jersey Transit to take him out. And in so doing, they have affected his earning ability, that affected his family, and he's here struggling with disrespect. We are not laying anything on this board because we know that for you to make a decision, something has to be presented to the board. The problem we have is that we are not being communicated with. We don't know exactly what is happening. And this is over, Mr. Grady has been struggling for since 2004. 15 years. That's a very long time. So we're asking, and we're here today, asking the New Jersey Transit, ask the question, the board, ask the question, apply some pressure, find out why can't we get something from you so we can make a decision and keep these guys outside of my meeting. It's a while. We like you all, but, we could be doing more things outside. So we're here today again, just as a reminder to New Jersey Transit, this is unfinished business. It is unfinished business, and it's just about time that we wrap it up and get out of here. Thank you very much.
Thank you. The next speaker is Donna Ivy.
Good morning. My name is Donna Ivy, and thank you for allowing me to speak one more time on behalf of Mr. G. It's nice to see you all again. Spring is here, summer's brewing here. We're getting ready to really have a good old time, and I don't want to be here this summer. I don't want to be in this position. I want this situation resolved. I think we all do. I think you all do as well. There's so many other things that we all could be doing that's much more positive and much more powerful, but we need to resolve this. So we take our time away from our families, friends, and also assignments to come on behalf of Mr. G, because he provides for us and we provide for him. This is unfair, and we know that you are not the board members that made this happen, but we do know that you all have a say in correcting the situation and resolving the matter. We really want you to think hard, long and hard, because if it was, again, and I've heard it said, one of your family members, you would be up in arms as we are, and you would address the issue probably sooner rather than later. We need your help, no doubt. We need your help. And we do appreciate your help. And yep, I am the one that comes in here with the power of positive thinking, right? That's because it's supposed to be that way. We're supposed to work with each other and for each other as long as we have breath in our bodies. So it is about powerful, positive thinking and implementation. So let's just move in the right direction, get it done. We'll come back and see you every once in a while. You don't have to write us off. We'll come back and say, hey. But we do really urge you to help to resolve this matter. Thank you. God bless. Happy summer.
Thank you. The next speaker is Bernard Hill.
Good morning, board, and all of the people that are sitting behind these desks with open ears. My face somewhat familiar for all the times that we've been here with these orange shirts supporting a man of dignity, a man that's been clouded of his dream. But together, I believe that with the sight in mind and the spiritual insight of doing what's right for a gentleman with such dignity as Mr. Russell Grady, a man that a street is named after for all of the great things that he has done for not only the people in these orange shirts, there's others. There's busloads of people that could be here today, but we're only a small portion of representation for Mr. Russell Grady. He is a strong man. He's taught me to be strong. So we're asking you to do what we've always come down here to do, to ask you to mobilize, execute the right thing, because no man should be taken away from his dream, as such as these measures have been taken. Makes no sense for us to keep coming back down here. I know we're getting close. It's not close enough. But let's make Mr. Russell Grady whole. Let's make his family strong again as we march on with boots on the ground. Thank you.
Thank you. The next speaker is Princess Reeves.
Good morning. I'd just like to take the time out to say congratulations to all the honorees that was before this board this morning. And I'd like to just iterate just a couple of things. Number one, it has been numerous amount of years that we have traveled to and fro to meet with not just this board, but the previous board. And unfortunately, because of that previous board, you guys have left with the responsibility as to make a right decision on such a matter. Mr. G, I tell you, I'm always saying most of the highest things because that's who he are. A man of integrity, a man of such character that not only takes on the concerns for not just his family, but every family. I wish you can see the rainbow of colors of everyone. He don't put just one person into one box. He put us all together because that's what we supposed to do. When God began to create this earth, this earthly vessel, he didn't say, okay, I'm going to just put one person in charge or one specific color in charge. We are all related, whether we know it or not. We have to dig deep into our history. But I say this to you, as we have come before you numerous time and time again, we've asked you and pleaded with you to search your heart, search your mind. If this was a matter that was put before your immediate family, would you have not got up, stand for the right thing and gathered the right decisions? So Mr. G, deserve to have the resolution that he so justly deserved. Thank you.
Thank you. The next speaker is Winnie Harrison.
Not as tall as they are. Good morning, everyone. Congratulations to everyone here, but we are here for Mr. Russell Grady. Last month, he was given the opportunity to be recognized in the city of Patterson and given a street named after him for his endeavors for continuing to work as a business owner in Patterson. But it would have started in Atlantic City, and I think this sign might have been down there. But we don't want to turn this sign sideways or upside down. We just need a resolution done to let us know that he is worthy of his hire. He is worthy of giving back. And we also appreciate, because we believe this is it. We believe this board has done the just due and made a decision that the resolution is waiting to be given to Mr. G. Thank you.
Thank you. The last speaker is Mr. Russell Grady.
Morning, board. Corbett, all the board members. I too wish to congratulate the phenomenal women who was honored here today. What can I say? I've been coming here for 2.5 years. And when my people get up and speak, and they speak from their heart, and I don't tell them or suggest to them what they should be saying. But I see something here larger than Russell Grady or Mr. G. Much larger than Russell Grady or Mr. G. What I see is, first of all, dignity and respect for other people. And what I see here, most of all, is fairness and justice. I've said this whole thing isn't just about me. I just happen to be a subject that was caught in this position. But as Americans, citizen, who paid my dues, and all of us have paid our dues, we demand justice and we demand fairness. Treat us like you would anyone else. By now, you know what happened. By now, you knew I was strong. By now, you know I was financial. How did I end up where I ended up? Because that was a decision that was made by this board. You were not part of that board. That an African American just didn't have the right to operate a facility in any of New Jersey Transit properties. But through an RFP, then you had to go out for a bid. I outbidded everybody else, and you had to take me. But you didn't want me there. So what you did is everything that you could to destroy me, and you succeeded. Fairness and justice is what I'm asking for. The decisions that you made destroyed the business, successful business. And the proof of that success is how I was able to survive as long as I did after you railroaded me out of my business. I keep repeating this. You kept sending invoices every month. How do you send first invoices to pay rent or lease when he doesn't have access to the facility? Just think about that. For over 2 years, You had promised that if you will move out, we will relocate you. And for 2 years, you sent me invoices, and I didn't have access at all to the property. Not only that, you know that I had an in-debt service. You knew that I owed EDA $200,000. And how I were able to carry that debt and have no access to the property, don't have any income. Don't have any income. You destroyed the income. You said that you destroyed it. You tore it down. You were supposed to put it back. You didn't put it back. And here I am, after 14 or 15 years, begging justice, fairness, poster child, did everything right, good man, all kind of awards. And here I'm standing for you to do what? I'm not asking you to do anything that you shouldn't do. You took it away from me. Why not give it back? That's all I'm asking. Give back from me what you took from me. By now, you know that we're not going anywhere. And I keep preaching, folk, please don't let us take this to another level. We're all human beings. We all fight for respect. We all fight for justice. We all fight for peace. We pay our dues. We pray. We go to church. We raise families. And how is it you're going to make a decision just to destroy a family and then have the audacity to come along after costing millions of damage, millions of dollars of damage, and offer nothing for it? Not even big enough to call it a crumb. And I'm supposed to accept that. Please, I make my last plea on this level. What's that other levels? Do what is right. Do what is fair. And I pray that you do. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Mr. Grady, as you know, it is not our custom to address you from the dais, and not because we don't want to, but because, as you know, this is a matter that you've been negotiating with an attorney on behalf of New Jersey Transit. And so there are rules. So first, what I want to do is offer you an apology. I know that you have reached out to New Jersey Transit and have not had a return phone call in the past few weeks. There has been a slight, I'll call it a glitch in our council representation. But as of yesterday afternoon, both the Governor's Authorities Unit Counsel, Brian Wilton, and I have spoken to the Attorney General, and that has been resolved. And so you should be receiving a phone call shortly. I believe you've given Joe Snow everything he needs, and hopefully you will hear from him today.
I appreciate you. If there's any gap,
I think we have what we need, but the other commitment that I would like to make, and I appreciate all of you as well, and I would love for you to come back and tell me that you don't like where a bus stop is located or a train that doesn't run. But our goal will be to resolve this next month. And so I would just ask for you to be open. No fireworks. The meeting is not on July 4th. But certainly that it is, I think it is the goal of all of us on this board. We weren't here. And as you know, that in 15 years, it's become a very complex process to unwind. And so we have been working behind the scenes, and I think that hopefully between now and the next board meeting, hopefully, we will have a meeting of the minds on a resolution. That is certainly our goal. But again, you are all welcome to come back at the end of the day to talk about any transit issue you want. But we hope that as of July, it will not be on this issue. We will have made positive progress.
There are no further speakers.
Okay. So now I would like to invite Suzanne Mack to present the advisory committee report.
Good morning. And thank you, Commissioner, for responding today to that. The advisory board has asked for some background on it, and we know everything is very complicated. It was a very interesting board meeting. I just want to, I know the Johnsons have left, but I do want to say that as a parent, you know that you take your work home, and so therefore Mrs. Johnson has not only been a wonderful employee for New Jersey Transit. I'm sure New Jersey Transit has been a big part of her children's lives and her family's lives, and it was just wonderful to see her honored today, as it was wonderful to see Flora, who came on the board and was always an advocate for the riding public. And I think I personally was never prouder of her than when she was president of APTA. It was just a remarkable journey for her to go from WTS to represent the woman of the country in a great organization like APTA. I also wanted to thank Kevin. Kevin and Justin came to our meeting. We just had our advisory board meeting last week. And I just want to give you that view of you are doing exactly what you said, that you would implement the strategic plan. And for those of us who actually read that plan and studied it, it said that there should be organizational changes. And I just, we're back to a little bit of normalcy so we can do business now on the board with no crises on the horizon. And it's a pleasure to see that the strategic plan is being implemented. I'd like to take a minute just to comment on one of the comments about the commissioner's role as the head of New Jersey DOT and really the chair of New Jersey Transit. I think across the country, it's been shown that when you have one transportation system, it really does bode these states well in that transit actually you ride on the trains, but you take your buses on the roads. And we have all our other little partners, the maritime and the airports and different things. And it all comes down to the economy of the state of New Jersey. And I, for one, think that having you in that role gives the state a unique opportunity with your background from the Turnpike Authority and chair of New Jersey Transit. I think you're in a unique position to make recommendations for the governor and for the treasurer, and I applaud you for the work that you've been doing in that effort. I know other people may disagree. Back to business. We had two major updates. One was on the budget, which I believe will be the subject of the next meeting this summer, but also on the Amtrak work at Penn Station. And we all know how difficult last summer was. But one of the things that we're really, all of the advisory board members that were there, we really had an in-depth analysis of how you make decisions on what services are cut and how you can implement during this service restructuring. And it was really gratifying to see all the work, all the background work that's done by Jack and his people and Justin and Kevin. And I just want to tell you that thank you, Kevin, for arranging those subjects for us. And I believe our passengers this summer hopefully will not have experienced what they did last summer, or will be mitigated by the great planning work that's being done within the organization. That concludes my report.
Thank you very much, Suzanne. And I guess I'm chatty today, so you all have to put up with it. But, it is difficult to serve as chair of both, this agency, the Turnpike and South Jersey, as well as be commissioner. It's more than a full-time job, but certainly one that I'm up for. And I think in terms of my testimony to the legislature, and I reiterate this because it is important, is that we have to make the entire transportation system work actually to help New Jersey Transit. It doesn't really help us if our surface transportation is degraded and we have more people coming to a transit system that right now is not ready to accept that influx. And so in this particular budget, the governor still increased the allocation to transit by 25 million. And I'm not going to get into the debate on whether that's enough or not. What I'm going to say is, but he took the balance of that 75 million from the general fund so that we can keep doing the work we do at DOT and at the Turnpike. And let me be clear, some of the work we do at T directly affects New Jersey Transit, whether it's bridges over transit systems, whether It's other work that we do in concert. We work, if our transportation system doesn't work as a whole, we will struggle to be successful. And so I appreciate the governor committing that additional 75 from the general fund, allowing the Turnpike and DOT to continue their important work so that hopefully, in the course of the next 24 months, I often say, there's a reason governors have 4 years. It's because nobody expected all the work to be done in the first year and a half. And we're not even to a year and a half yet. So we've made great progress. I'm very grateful to the governor for his commitment on not diverting funds so that we can strengthen our entire transportation system. So it is not that any decision I make is swayed by highway or transit. It's looking globally at our transportation system and making sure it all works together for the benefit of all of the residents of New Jersey, whatever mode of transportation they decide to, which would include pedestrians and bicycles. And we've had conversations here about those as well. So I just want to make sure everyone understands that. And I don't take it personally. I know it's not about me. But at the end of the day, it is an awesome responsibility. I, along with Kevin and the team at DOT and Turnpike in South Jersey, take it very, very seriously. So with that, my good friend Flora left before she could do her board committee reports. And so that has been left to me. I will present on her behalf the Operations and Customer Service Committee report and the Administration Committee report and the Capital Planning Policy and Privatization Committee report. So like I said, I'm chatty today. The Operations and Customer Service Committee received an update on trends, analysis, and actions for rail, bus, light rail, and access link. The committee received its first update regarding customer engagement from the customer advocate and chief customer experience officer. Additionally, the committee received an update on social media activities. The Administration Committee received a financial update. The financial update included an update on fiscal year and year-over-year operating results, budget to actual comparisons of revenue and expenses, and major operating results. The Capital Planning, Policy, and Privatization Committee discussed the board items for the HBLR amendment to the contract for operations and maintenance, the fiscal year 2020 procurement by exception waiver authorization, police dispatch and records management modernization project, and the corporate insurance program annual renewal. The committee also received an update on NJ Transit's plans to recommend to New York Waterway that it can enter into a contract with Director Shipyards pursuant to an equipment retrofit and a monitoring agreement that was presented to this board in March of 2015. And Joyce, that concludes all of the reports, and I would now ask Kevin to present our action items.
Thank you, Chair. I'd now like to introduce Ignacio Desai McCleary, Chief of Procurement and Support Services, to present Board Item 190632.
Thank you, Executive Director and Commissioner. Board Member Castillo is not here, but I would like to congratulate her for her service. We are recommending approval of item 190632, fiscal year 2020 procurement by exception waiver authorization. Authorization is requested to enter into procurement by exception contracts for the purchase of material and services from approved vendors set forth in Exhibit A1, subject to adjustments to support bus, rail, light rail, and headquarters operations at a cost not to exceed $28 million, subject to the availability of funds. The board will be notified of new firms and new services whose aggregate spend exceeds $250,000 within the fiscal year. This request will cover a 12-month period from July 1st, 2019 to June 30th, 2020. Authorization is also requested to enter into procurement by exception contracts for the purpose of maintaining and upgrading hardware and software systems from approved vendors set forth in Exhibit A2, subject to adjustments to support New Jersey Transit's information systems at a total cost not to exceed $36 million, subject to the availability of funds. The board will be notified of new firms and new services whose aggregate spend exceeds $250,000 within the fiscal year. This request will cover a 12-month period from July 1st, 2019 to June 30th, 2020. Finally, authorization is requested to enter into procurement by exception contracts for the purchase of material and service from approved vendors set forth in Exhibit A3, subject to adjustments to support the New Jersey Transit System Resilience Program at a cost not to exceed $500,000, subject to the availability of funds. FTA approval, and all other applicable requirements. The board will be notified of new firms and new services whose aggregate spend exceeds $250,000 within the fiscal year. This request will cover a 12-month period from July 1st, 2019 to June 30th, 2020. We ask for your approval of item 1906-32.
Thank you. May I have a motion to approve Board Item 1906-32? Second? Joyce, would you take roll call, please?
Roll call vote. Chair Gutierrez Scacchetti?
Yes.
Board Member Wilton?
Yes.
Board Member Ajmani? Yes. Motion carried.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, I'd now like to introduce Chris Trusillo, Chief of New Jersey Transit Police, present Board Items 1906-33 regarding Record Management Modernization Project. Chief.
Thank you, Director. We are recommending approval of item 1906-33, Police Dispatch and Records Management Modernization Project. Authorization is requested to enter into a contract with Motorola Solutions Incorporated of Bordentown, New Jersey, for the provision of a modernized computer-aided dispatch system, records management system, and mobile software for the New Jersey Transit Police Department, to include applicable hardware to maintain the systems as required in an amount not to exceed $2,358,616.03, plus 5% for contingencies subject to the availability of funds. We ask for your approval of item 1906-33.
Thank you, Chief. May I have a motion to approve Board Item 1906-33? May I have a second? Just before we vote, Chief, it's National Safety Month. Is that what we're in, Kevin, for the transit world? And you and the men and women and dogs of New Jersey Transit work very hard to keep all of us safe every day. And so please extend our thanks to your troops.
I certainly will, Commissioner. Thank you.
Joyce, please take a roll call vote.
Roll call vote. Chair Gutierrez Scacchetti?
Yes.
Board Member Wilton?
Yes.
Board Member Ajmani? Yes. Motion carried.
Great. Now, for our last item, I'd like to introduce Bill Vaquera, Chief Financial Officer and Treasurer, to present 1906-34 regarding the annual renewal of our corporate insurance program.
Thank you, President and CEO. We are recommending approval of item 1906-34, Corporate Insurance Program Annual Renewal. Authorization is requested to revise and renew the corporate insurance program and to include services necessary to administer the program for the period July 1st, 2019 through June 30, 2020, at an annual cost not to exceed an amount discussed in executive session, plus 5% for contingencies subject to the availability of funds and adoption of the fiscal year 2020 operating budget. We ask for your approval of item 1906-34.
May I have a motion to approve Board Item 1906-34? Second? Any discussion? Joyce, please take roll.
Roll call vote. Chair Gutierrez Scacchetti?
Yes.
Board Member Wilton?
Yes.
Board Member Ajmani?
Yes.
Motion carried.
Thank you, Joyce. Since there is no further business, may I have a motion to adjourn the meeting? Second? Second. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion is carried. Meeting is adjourned. Thank you. We're just going to be doing this right now for a little bit.